Happy St. Patrick's Day, y'all.
Top of the morning to ya. Did you know I'm part Irish? I'm also Scottish and Hungarian, but that still makes me a third Irish.
Hello, world. In this episode, in celebration of St. Patrick's Day, I'm going to review the Disney Channel original movie, Luck of the Irish, now available on Disney+. Is this film a pot of gold, or just a bunch of blarney? Thank you for clicking on my video. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate that you did. Hello, world. I'm Chris Franklin, aka Mr. FLIXTER, and I'm here to talk motion pictures. Mr.
Hello, world. It's Mrs. Whiskers. Why shouldn't you iron a four-leaf clover?
Hello, world. I'm at a matinee, so tell me, darling, why?
It's not good to press your luck. Hello, world. It's Noah, film critic extraordinaire. Yeah. Welcome to our spoiler review. Meow, meow, meow.
It's all about how teenager Kyle Johnson wants to know his family's heritage, but his parents keep it from him for some reason, so he takes it upon himself to find the answer. So the question remains, what is the family secret? Full disclosure, this isn't a movie that I grew up with, so I don't have a lot of nostalgia toward it. I recently discovered it watching the channel Awesome Disney December videos. So I thought it'd be fun to check out based on the Nostalgia Critic's recommendation. So here's my take on it. This film may get a wee bit stereotypical, but it's only good fun. It was directed by Paul Hohn. Or is it Hohen? I don't know. But he's famous for doing a lot of other Disney Channel original movies, such as the Zombie Trilogy. He did Cheetah Girls, One World in 2008, and he did Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam, back in 2010. So he's made a career out of doing all these Disney Channel original movies. I like how most of the film is filmed with crane shots, sweeping wide shots, Dutch angles, and close-ups. Early on, there's an Irish step-dance scene that's beautifully choreographed, showing off the rapid movement of their feet by showing tight close-ups, and then doing the other different camera tricks that I've mentioned too. And it is beautifully shot. It's one of the highlights of the film, I think. There's also a pretty good chase scene about midway through the film that involves an RV and a bright green 1960 Shamrock, which is similar to the 1957 Thunderbird and a Studebaker Hawk combined. It has a high production value for a made-for-TV film, and the CGI, in my opinion, still holds up today. It's a fast-paced film with quick editing cuts and high energy from the beginning. I found it highly enjoyable.
What's the most marvelous month for a parade?
When?
March.
Written by Andrew Price and Mark Edward Eden, I like how the film both has fun with and subverts Irish folklore. For example, it touches on both leprechauns and another lesser-known Irish fairy called the Far Darrig, which is the antagonist of the film. He even wears red consistently throughout the film, just like they do in the myths. It's little touches like that that I really appreciate when it comes to writing. It also puts a new spin on other symbols of Irish folklore, like rainbows, gold coins, and lucky charms. Not the cereal.
Don't forget to wear your lucky coin.
That being said, it is a pretty sloppy story. It starts off with a simple premise: what is Kyle's family's secret? Then it's about how Kyle eventually ends up at an Irish festival, where he questions this mysterious old man, but he becomes extremely unlucky because somebody stole his lucky coin. This in turn causes him to transition into a leprechaun. And then from there, it branches out into several more side plots, including something to do with the Far Darrig becoming the Leprechaun King, which, after watching a few times, I still don't really fully understand. But it's still a charming, light-hearted family comedy that stays consistently funny despite all the plot holes. And it's insanely rewatchable.
In other words, this film will have you and your family doubling over with laughter. Yeah.
You could even bring the wee ones. Ryan Merriman plays Kyle Johnson. He was also in Smart House.
And he was in Final Destination 3. That's why he looks so familiar.
He has an infectious, charismatic personality, but he can get serious when it's required as well. And I gotta tell ya, he does an impressive Irish accent.
Oh, saints preserve us. I am getting sharper.
He's also pretty good with his comedic timing, too. He was well cast to lead the film. The effervescent young actor is just bursting with energy. He's just so charming. The late, great Henry Gibson plays Riley O'Reilly, Kyle's estranged grandfather. He's perfectly cast as the eccentric, wise mentor, guiding Kyle and his friends and family on his journey. He's irreplaceable, and it's the highlight of the film. It's always a joy to see him pop up. He gives a phenomenal performance, with a lot of subtle nuances that you notice the more you watch the film. I like the way he plays the character. Again, that was a wise casting choice.
Like they say, ale in a day's work.
Paul Keeman plays Bob Johnson, Kyle's dad, and Maria Gregory plays Kate O'Reilly Johnson, Kyle's mom. They share wonderful chemistry as a real couple because they don't always agree on everything. It never feels fake or disingenuous. Their dynamic as a couple is interesting because they both have good points when it comes to when they should have told Kyle about the truth of the family and their heritage. I like how they have active roles in the plot, too, instead of being killed off or sidelined in typical Disney fashion. They both share equally hilarious moments, too. A lot of them have some pretty good quips, and I like how things that they say early on come into play later. I love when things are written like that. They bring something up, and you think nothing of it, and then later on, it becomes important to the plot. I love that.
With what he's done.
Like we're at the end, with the shores of Erie. That's so clever. I like the wordplay there.
Where did we come from? You know, what's our heritage? We moved here from Cleveland.
We're Americans, Kyle. That's all the heritage we need.
I said the shores of Erie.
Would you at least learn how to say it? The land to your fathers isn't Erie, boyo. It's Era.
My father's from Cleveland.
Hey, Madam Matinee, why shouldn't you marry leprechauns? And why not, darling? Because some of them are gold diggers.
Glendon Chapman plays Russell Holloway, Kyle's best friend. He has good comedic timing, delivering most of the comic relief. He has a very natural way of delivering his lines, too. His performance works because he never feels like he's acting. It just feels like two friends conversing. That's so important when it comes to casting actors. Stuff like that can't be faked. Alexis Lopez plays Bonnie Lopez. She plays another one of Kyle's friends. She's a sharp-witted, intelligent overachiever involved in basically every academic extracurricular activity imaginable.
I was talking with the girl in charge of the Heritage Day Committee.
Is it Bonnie Lopez? She's always in charge of everything.
I know. Yeah, anyways.
She doesn't see eye to eye with Kyle at first, but is still supportive of her friend. Again, she has great quips and comedic timing, which never feels forced. And it's all very natural, too. It never feels like two actors acting. It feels like friends hanging out. I can't overstate how important that is. Timothy Omundson is Seamus McTiernan. He's the villain. And he's so delightful as the villain, too. I had no idea he was in this. Before I watched this, I knew him as King Richard from Gallivant. And he's also in that awful Woody Woodpecker remake.
Now ain't that a Seamus? Meow, 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 meow.
In this, he's as cunning as he is dubious. It's cool to see him as a serious threat after Gallivant. However, his motivation is unclear. But there's no denying he's so good at being bad. Again, he's another highlight of the film. And I love the soundtrack. I can listen to Irish music all day long. It's just so chipper and cheery, and it makes you want to bob your head, and it makes you want to dance. I can't Irish step dance, though. Trust me, you do not want to see me try.
Kyle, what are you doing? I don't know.
So, overall, the delightful throwback to the beginning of the century is a hilarious, campy, fun adventure full of wonder. It's a great family flick just to celebrate St. Patrick's Day with. Even though it doesn't technically take place on or around St. Patrick's Day, and there's actually no references to St. Patrick's Day in it, it's still a lot of fun for the day because of all the references to Irish history and folklore. It touches on themes of the importance of your heritage, self-acceptance, immigration, cultural diversity, and ethics. So even though it gets silly at times, it doesn't hesitate to slow down and get serious. But not too serious. I mean, this film doesn't take itself very seriously at all. I think that's a part of why it works so well. But really though, the best way to describe this film is just delightful. There's just so much fun you can have with this, as long as you don't take the material too seriously. I mean, come on, it's folklore. It's not meant to be taken that seriously. It's just a lighthearted family comedy made for the Disney Channel. And it's actually really good if you give it a chance. I was pleasantly surprised. You could say luck was on their side with this one. Fun fact. Upon doing my research, I discovered Disney remade this film in 2012. It's titled Luck Luck Key Bot, and it aired on India's version of the Disney Channel. Who knew?
अमित के हैं ढेर सारे दोस्त क्या अमित है बड़ा किस्मत वाला अपना गुड लक तो काफी गुड चल रहा है लेकिन मजा तो तब आएगा सब लक की बात सब कुछ
रास्ते छोड़ दोगे क्या?
जब पलटेगी उसकी किस्मत।
पापा, आपने ये फैंसी ड्रेस क्यों पहनी है?
फैंसी ड्रेस तो ये है जो तुमने पहनी। लक लक की बात, एक डिज्नी चैनल ओरिजिनल मूवी प्रीमियर हो रहा है 30 सितंबर सुबह 10 बजे डिज्नी चैनल पर।
I highly recommend this for fans of Darby O'Gill and the Little People and Smart House.
So why not grab yourself a pint and join the festivities?
Good Leprechaun films are hard to come by. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, come on. And in case you're wondering, no, I'm not ever going to review the Leprechaun films, because then I have to watch the Leprechaun films again. My official grade for Luck of the Irish is large popcorn. Until next time, happy St. Patrick's Day. And remember, it's no sham when I say this flick rocks.
So, Mrs. Whiskers, what happens when leprechauns drink too much?
I don't know. What happens?
It really lucks them up.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Meow, 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 meow.
Did you know that I'm a film critic for HorrorBuzz.com? You can read my reviews on their website, and I make frequent appearances on their YouTube channel, HorrorBuzz Live, so I'll leave links below for that too. You should check it out when you get a chance. Do you like my t-shirt? Believe it or not, I actually found it at the dollar store. So, lucky me, I guess.